As a German myself, I don't know most of the stereotypes about. Honestly, I have no idea about most stereotypes of the German states in general. But I guess we're gonna figure out what the stereotypes of all 16 German states are today. I have no idea what Baden-Württemberg is. Baden-Württemberg for me is just a smaller Bavaria. It's just like Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria are just mushed together for me, like always. In my mind, Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria are just like, they're just one. Hi Usagi and hi Jay. Swabians are always stingy. Okay, yeah, that's also one. Okay, Baden-Württemberg, let's go.
After World War II, the three regions of Baden, Württemberg, and a slice of Hohenzollern were merged, making it into Baden-Württemberg. But there is still a lot of friendly rivalry between the founding states to this day. These people are rich, and you won't understand a thing they're saying, even if you're German. Hence the saying that they can do everything but speak proper German.
Oh.
They work very hard, make good money, spend none of it, and save to buy a house.
Oh yeah, the saving, being stingy. True. The stingy and wife sweeping. What did you hear about wife sweeping?
So you could say that they're like the Scottish of Germany. They're basically the reason for the German high efficiency, no humor, great engineering, high quality stereotypes. In the winter, they wake up at 5 to shovel the snow.
Ew.
But during the weekend, they loosen up and just wake up at 5:30. How can you tell if someone from Baden-Württemberg? Just look at their phones. If the brightness is set to 1%, bingo. And
hey, my brightness is set to 1%. If you tell that to any Bavarian or Baden-Württemberger, they would mug you. Yes, they would. I'm sorry about everyone who is from Baden-Württemberg or Bavaria. But in my head, they're always the same thing.
there's Kewocha.
Wait, wir können alles außer Hochdeutsch is a slogan from Baden-Württemberg?
For those who don't know, you have to clean up the hallways and the stairs where you live.
Oh, you do.
And if you don't...
It depends on where you live, but in most houses you actually have to do that because most houses don't have someone who just comes and sweeps. But my house, for example, we have like cleaners that sweep the house, like the stairs every week. But otherwise, you might actually have like neighborhood fights about that very topic. I like the skit of the two Swabians living next to each other who had not sued each other yet over a house dispute. I don't know that one actually. But she's on the Scheiterhaufen. She crossed Baden-Württemberg and Bayern. I'm sorry. And most tourist spots around the world have the sticker schön hier. Aber waren Sie schon mal in Baden-Württemberg? Yeah, that's also one. There's like this sticker that exists. That's nice. It was nice here, but wait. Have you ever been to Baden-Württemberg? That's basically what it says. If you see a Baden-Württemberg sticker with schön hier, aber waren Sie schon mal in Baden-Württemberg? That just says, yeah. Well, it's kind of nice here, but have you ever been to Baden-Württemberg? Because I think Neuschwanstein, they showed Neuschwanstein, no? Neuschwanstein. That's in Schwangau. But that's Baden-Württemberg, isn't it? No, it's Bavarian state government. I knew it was in Bavaria. Wait, is it in Bavaria or in Baden-Württemberg? Where's Schwangau? Is it Bavarian or is it? It's Bavarian, isn't it? There's a Luna version. Is there? Wait. Yeah, it's a Bavarian. Why was it shown for Baden-Württemberg? Runya, waren Sie schon mal in Runya stream? Yes, I was. There's probably a version of that sticker for any German VTuber. Probably. There might be.
Well, you better not. There are
it was built for the Bavarian king, yeah.
Of them in Berlin, and they're the destroyers of fun. Now, about the capital, Stuttgart, the Mercedes-Benz and Porsche headquarters are there, and it's very...
He said... Porsche, that's good, but he said Mercedes-Benz, it's Mercedes. It's Mercedes.
Expensive to live in.
Hey, they have the Schwarzwald. True.
Where? Near Stuttgart. The city of Karlsruhe is filled with lawyers.
That's true,
Mannheim has people from everywhere.
There it is. This is the sticker we talked about.
And Freiburg is the hippie central of the state, with lots of bikers and vegan cafes.
Oh, Bavaria is gonna be fun. I want to visit the museum. Let's go.
Bavaria is like the Texas of Germany.
That's what I always say. I actually made a short about that. I still have to upload it. I'm gonna upload it tomorrow. But I compared the German state. Like I compared. There are two states that you can compare. No, it is real but it's for real. Thank you.
This is starting the year how I end at it, throwing away my money.
Monday, thank you so much for the 13th month already. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the emails. Thank you so much for welcome back to the subtribe. Have a happy new year as well, Xan. And thank you so much for the follow. Texas mentioned, no, for real. Like Bavaria. So, okay. I actually made a short about that. I still just have to upload it. It's already finished. I'm going to upload it tomorrow. But there is several German states that you can compare to American states. So Bavaria is Texas just without guns, and instead of cowboy hats, they have lederhosen. Then you have the Saarland, which is obviously Alabama. And Berlin is probably most likely like Florida, but also a little bit like New York. Yeah. Bavarians have guns for hunting. That's also true. Yeah. Need more explanations? Nah. Like, Bavaria is Texas just without the guns. And, like I said, no cowboy hats, but lederhosen. Even in part of Texas, we have lederhosen. See? You've got the Texas German. When they're slowly causing small riots across Germany, state by state, with their descriptions. I'm so sorry. Fun for the whole family. They compare me to Texan. Yeah. Wait, in the Saarland, they're all siblings? Yes. That's one of the stereotypes about the Saarland. Or, as we would say, mein Stammbaum ist ein Kreis. My family tree is a circle. What would Hamburg compare to?
State?
Must be like a coastal state. Which state in America is well known for like trading, like that it has money, is well known for trading goods by boat? Boston, New York, San Francisco, but state, Oregon. Yeah, I would have also said something along that coast. Wait, Massachusetts, but by boat, right? Yeah. Wait, let me check again. God, you've got so many freaking states, America. Yeah, Oregon. Washington could also actually work, possibly. But I don't know how well known they are for, like, trading, like boat business stuff. It has a harbor. Miami or Ohio. I don't think Louisiana. Florida also not. California? How about California? North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia probably not. New Jersey? What about New Jersey? A lot of spies at Hamburg. Yeah, Hamburg would be New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Maine, or Vermont. Oh yeah, Rhode Island. I think Rhode Island could be a good comparison, actually. You have 16 states. How cute. Depends on what side of the country. Yeah, it might be more like architecturally wise. I think it's probably more in vicinity to New York, just from like architecture maybe, or Virginia maybe. But I think Rhode Island could actually work. Rhode Island. Let me look at images of Rhode Island. If I just like look at Rhode Island, just like image wise, this could literally be similar to Well, it gives me similar vibes. Yeah. Definitely. If it's known for like trading and the harbor as well, and being rich, it also needs to be rich. Sorry. Hamburg is also very expensive. I guess usually I think of port cities instead of port states. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, Hamburg, so in Germany we have 3 city-states. It's Berlin, Bremen, and Hamburg. And those are like cities, but also a state. Because Germany is indeed quite a bit smaller than America. But the real question, who wrote an island and where? New York then? So it's more New York. I would say Massachusetts because they relied heavily on trade back then. Bremen is basically Hamburg, but in poor. I stand behind that statement. It's true. Rhode Island is not rich. Okay. So Rhode Island could be Bremen. I guess.
are very traditional, conservative, and rich, with the highest separatist feelings among all German states. They often joke about how they'd be better off if they united with Austria. A Transalpine Empire would be great too. They're
They
what
do.
most of the world thinks Germans look like, wearing lederhosen or dirndl all the time while drinking a liter of beer and eating white sausage for breakfast.
And not just rice sausage, but just in general, Bratwurst. In general, in Hamburg, there is, I think Hamburg has one of the highest homeless populations in Germany, because they do a lot for people who don't have a home anymore. They do a lot for the homeless in Germany, but that's also... No, they actually, in Hamburg, I talked to someone who lived in Hamburg for a while. They do a lot in Hamburg, and for the people who are homeless. And it's always kind of like, I've only been to Hamburg 3 times and only for like a con, so I don't see a lot of Hamburg when I am there normally. But what I do notice is that there is a lot, like the homeless population is really high. Like it's noticeably higher than in other cities, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the thing. Rich and expensive are 2 different things. Runya, Berlin is also expensive, but Hamburg is rich and expensive. Why is it white? I actually don't know what they do into the Weisswurst. I can look. Wait a second. Weisswurst. Weichwurst is a traditional Bavarian sausage made from minced veal and pork fat back. It is usually flavored with parsley, lemon, mace, onions, ginger, and cardamom, although there are variations. I hope that explains it. But there is a reason why you eat Weisswurst late morning or exactly before lunch. Yeah, well, I would really stick for Rhode Island, but... So it's stuffing. Yeah, it's the stuffing, yeah. Hamburg, much like Berlin, Frankfurt, and Cologne, is a large European traffic hub, which naturally attracts a lot of... Yeah, exactly, Happig. It's Hamburg. Sorry, it's Hamburg.
And going to Oktoberfest in the afternoon, even though it's June. Speaking of food, they live on Radler and use noodle in almost every food.
Yeah, Knödel.
Compared to the northern
It's not noodle, it's Knödel.
parts, people are more chatty and outgoing. People from up north, though, have some different opinions about them. If you ask them about Bavaria, they'll say it's the most northern city of Italy. They think Bavarians are arrogant and full of themselves. But I think they're just
Yeah, and Bavaria is rich.
proud of their culture.
That's also like a stereotype. It's like everyone in Bavaria, like they're just rich. Like not everyone, but it's like we have Munich in Bavaria, and they have like a very, 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 very nice. You know, they have nice streets there. They have like, okay, so as to explain that, a lot of German streets, like just they have a lot of, we call it Schlaglöcher, and always need repair. But the Bavarian streets, like I there is a noticeable difference between Eastern German streets and Bavarian streets. There is a noticeable difference. You already said rich. Yeah, they're rich. Yeah. You'd only say in Bavaria if you're rich. Schlagloch. Potholes, thank you. Isn't that what the high taxes are for? They have like high income taxes as far as I know in general in Bavaria. If I remember correctly, white sausage used to be made fresh early in the morning because there was no refrigeration yet. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And heritage. I mean, if you ask them where they're from, they're just going to say Bavarian, not German. Aside from these, every other state hates Bayern Munich. I mean, enough already. You're winning.
They also hate Red Bull. They like in like every like it's the thing. I think it's similar in the UK. If you have a big football league in your city, or in your state, at least that's what I feel. They are like, no, we hate everyone else. Like we have, oh God, I don't watch football, but that's what I get from like the news. Basically, we have the Champions League. No, it's not the Champions League. It's a Deutsche Bundesliga. That's what it is. So we have. We've got, which ones do we have? I don't even know who is in the Bundesliga anymore except for Bayern München. We have Bayern München, we have Dortmund, we have Leverkusen, we have Leipzig, we have Hoffenheim, we have Stuttgart, we have Frankfurt, we have Union Berlin? Since when is Berlin in the Bundesliga again? I didn't know. Have they always been in the Bundesliga, or is that like a new thing? Berlin is in the freaking Bundesliga. Leverkusen is sponsored by Bayern. That's why it's Bayer Leverkusen. Ah, that makes sense. May have something to do with the fact that the politicians are... Yeah, maybe. No. Yeah, Bayer, sorry. I meant Bayer Leverkusen, yeah. Bavarian Street has so many bumps as the mirror of a photocopies have, if you... But yeah, I know Bayer. Sorry, I just read it wrong. Hi, Dimi. Why shouldn't it be in the Bundesliga? I thought it wasn't in the Bundesliga for a really long time. Union is a long time. It really? Okay, I don't know anything about football, I guess. But there's also, I think, similar to the UK, we have this huge thing that people who are from, like, I guess, who are from Berlin hate, and, like, football fans, and then they are like, oh, you're a Köln fan, Erste FC Köln fan, oh, I hate you, you're from Cologne. And, like, they hate each other with a big passion, I guess.
Every year. It's not even fun anymore. Go play with some other European teams.
Oh, yeah, and they win.
So you could already
always,
guess that there's some hate
basically.
between
Not
Bavaria
always,
and
but
other parts
a
of
lot.
Germany. But well, a little bit of healthy mutual hatred is the foundation of Germany.
It
About
is.
their dialect? Yeah, dialect. Not another language, you Prussian fools. Where was I? It's pretty hard to understand. BMW and Audi headquarters are in Bavaria, and Bavarians constantly talk and brag about them, but they drive Subaru. The capital, Munich, is clean, and there are a lot of parks, and it feels like a big village, but it's very expensive. Also, people from Nuremberg are proud of their small sausages, and people from Augsburg...
Everyone is proud of their sausage in Bavaria. Every single one. It's even worse with hockey teams, really. I mean, I do like hockey. No, it's definitely another language.
Are hippies.
Berlin, let's go.
Berlin is dirty, poor, but sexy and disorganized, with weirdos, homeless people, drug addicts, and dealers. It has the highest crime rate per capita in the country, and in the middle of all this, there are some hippies who think it's the best place in the world. Now, the Berliners. No one can deny that they're extremely rude and upfront, whether to each other or to foreigners. They're like rude on purpose, and they always speak their mind. Well,
honestly, from someone, honestly, I wouldn't call it rude. I wouldn't call it rude. I wouldn't call it rude because I think it might come across as rude for people not from Germany, but I think from people from Germany, Berliner Schnauze, as you might call it, it's direct. It's direct. It's not. It's too direct for most people, yeah. But I think for like, it's rather for people outside of Germany. It's like rude. It comes across as rude, but a lot of people are really direct. You know? I think it has less to do with being rude. Yes, obviously, there are some people who are freaking rude in Berlin. Yeah, definitely. But there are also really nice people, but they are like really direct. It's commonly it is a dialect. I know. Autistic honesty, basically. Funnily enough, I saw a short that German is a bit more autistic friendly, which, sorry, as someone who is also, I'm not autistic, I'm ADHD, I have ADHD, but I do know people who are autistic or possibly autistic, and as someone who is neurodivergent, no, Germany is not this magical neurodivergent paradise, but due to being direct, it can help with being autistic. Like I have heard that it sometimes might help people who are artistic, that Germans are a little bit more direct. That's a thing that they appreciate, at least. Gesabbel, yeah, as they say, yeah, same with Dutch people. They're also direct, aka rude. Yeah, I think this directness is just automatically, like, they are rude, but I don't think they are rude, you know? And it's really direct. Yes, they can be rude, but direct communication is most efficient, yeah. No, keep reading after that. Oh, has assigned a unique ISO language. They have what now for what? When? Being upfront and direct, yeah. it's a form of German efficiency. Like, don't tell me stories, finish the sentence and tell me what you want. Yeah, exactly. People from Berlin always get a culture shock when they leave Berlin and see the people from other Bundesländer being polite. Yeah, I've heard that. But not from all other Bundesländer. Not from the Eastern German Bundesländer, and also, basically the Eastern German Bundesländer are also similar. The culture shock when I went up north. Funnily enough, thank you so much, Zephonim. Thank you. You're using the last hours of the promotion. I see. Thank you so much.
Some say that's how they want to make new friends, by challenging you to assassinate a duel. If you beat them with an even more passive-aggressive reply, you have gained their respect. Which is, I don't know, you tell me. Is this true? Now, the people who have moved there are a stereotype as being hippies who party in techno clubs, hang out in cafes with laptops, and dress all in black and leather, and tend to all get depressed in the winter. In Berlin, there are people from all around the world, and all of them are obsessed with doner, or vegan doner.
The doner is really nice, and they have really good vegan doner as well. But it's insane. So if you go to Berlin, or if you ever are in Berlin, you probably might hear people speak more English than German. At least sometimes it feels like it. Obviously, like statistically, most people speak German there. But it's interesting if you go right outside. Sometimes it feels like, oh, why is everyone speaking English? What is vegan doner made of? The one that I love is made of seitan. They use like either falafel or my favorite is the seitan doner. Wait, is it also seitan in English? Let me check. Oh no, frick, English. Is it also? Yeah, it's no. Wait a second. Seitan. Is a food made with gluten, the main protein of wheat. It's also known as myanjin, milgogi, mikan, wheat meat or gluten meat. It's actually not made out of soy. It's not made out of soy. It's made out of gluten, and it has it's a bit more chewy than soy, which is really nice. Especially in doner, it's like this chewy. Just the chewy texture is what I personally really like. Happy New Year to you too, Laura. So wheat, yeah, exactly. Not wheat. Funnily, a lot of people you will meet in cafes and clubs are indeed not born in Berlin and stay there for a few decades. Yeah, exactly. I've never had seitan doner. I really like to try. I tried falafel. Seitan doner is really good. If you've ever find it, try it. I mean, I can't guarantee that it's going to be good because every doner is a bit different, but yeah. I know what gluten is. I've had it in some Chinese restaurants. It's really good. It's really good if you ever can try seitan. Or apparently, like I said, it's also called myanjin, milgogi, mikan, wheat meat, gluten meat, or gluten. Try it. It's really good. I like the texture. If I'm thinking of the same thing, it's pretty hard to show what it looks like because it's also always made to look like meat, obviously. They speak Denglish because they can't speak other languages, so they use words from both. Oh, so you say scam.
Berlin is like its own microcosmos. You can find every sort of person there. It's one of those places where every person can find their tribe, if they just look for it, no matter how weird or niche they are. This state gets a lot of hate. Every other state hates Berlin. And even people from Berlin
hate Berlin, yeah.
It's overall a good place. You could find some friends, bully other people on a daily basis, quit your engineering major and go to a music or art school, and live a life funded by others because work isn't your thing. Then, you could go out with your girlfriend, who has ripped tights, an asymmetrical skirt, multicolored hair, but in a goth way, crazy...
This looks like someone who might get into the Berghain.
...eyeliner, piercings, and an aggressive victim mentality, and enjoy the city. If you're liking the video so far, please subscribe.
He hasn't talked about the Berghain. That is so sad. If you don't know, Berghain is a really exclusive club in Berlin. I think techno? Is it techno? So yeah, it's a really exclusive club, and if you don't match the vibe, you don't get in. It has one now. Hi, Nero. Brandenburg. Oh no. So Brandenburg, the association I have with Brandenburg is similar to the one I have with MacPom, but Brandenburg it's more like Brandenburg. I always say that's where the wolves say goodnight to each other because there's nothing there. That's why the wolves say, and I think we have the highest population of wolves in Brandenburg.
surrounding Berlin. It's very empty, sandy,
The
and did I
basement
mention
of the
empty? No
Berghain?
one's living in Brandenburg. And there's even a song about this.
Yeah, no one
All
lives
you
there.
can see is forests,
Yeah,
lakes,
it's just
and more
forests.
forests. Also wolves. They roam around abandoned villages and eat the last pensioners who have not immigrated to
See?
Baden-Württemberg.
See?
Most inhabitants live in surroundings of Berlin. The people are nice, and the cities get even more empty because everyone's commuting to Berlin for work. There isn't much to do except to go and see the beautiful
Hey, we also have the desert.
lakes or visit the Spreewald. And also they have the city of Frankfurt. Oder.
Yeah, it's Frankfurt oder, not Frankfurt.
Bremen is this
What am I doing? I heard Berghain is a Q simulator. It is.
smallest estate. So small they even call it the big village. I mean, the whole state has only 2 cities. And it's like a big village, alright.
And it's
but with
pretty
the
run
benefits of a metropolis.
And as far as I know, it's really poor. At least Bremerhaven, because I know someone who works in Bremerhaven, at least as a primary school teacher, and she was like, it's a hassle.
And they're mostly
It's-
poor and leftists. The city, though, is absolutely beautiful.
It's
It has a great
poor.
public transit, and you can go anywhere by bike. They're also an hour away by train from Hamburg, and have a great football rivalry with them. I haven't heard any more specific stereotypes about this place, but the things that you could do there are to enjoy the city parks and nature, say hi to Roland, see the famous musicians and pet the donkey, and enjoy some nip and lapskaus. And you have to
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. That's literally it. Win a flat in Berlin. Are so little people wanting to... Wait, what? Seems peaceful. Yeah, that's the Bremer Stadtmusikanten. It's a German fairy tale about 4 animals. You've got the donkey.
about
Wait.
this place, but the things that you could do there are to enjoy the city parks and nature,
Wait.
say hi to Roland, see the famous music.
You've got the donkey. This is a doggo. Then you have a cat on top. And on top of the cat, you've got a cock. Hi, Cleonide.
And pet the donkey and enjoy some nip and lapskaus. And you have to note that once they were a shipping and manufacturing powerhouse. Now they have the highest level of alcoholism and unemployment of any estate in Germany.
A what? A cock. A rooster. Yeah. We can also say rooster if we want.
People from Hamburg are stereotyped as being rude, arrogant, and very direct and cold, just like their weather. And their extreme directness may sometimes feel like bullying to foreigners. And they're very reserved and almost Nordic in their attitude, meaning that you won't get a warm hug from them. And they always keep it to themselves. You could
Yeah.
find liberal, rich bourgeois everywhere. And because of their port, wealth, and fancy apartments,
Like I said, very wealthy.
they think they're above everybody else. About the food, they're obsessed with their fish and love Fischbrötchen. They all think they're better than Berlin because they have a port, more money, and better bars. St. Pauli neighborhood in Hamburg is where all the cool lefty Hamburgers hang out, pretending they're not rich. And it feels like a big nightclub. Especially
Oh, and then you also have the Reeperbahn. The Reeperbahn is like the red light like, okay, you've got a red light district in Hamburg. A pretty infamous red light district. But Jan is very huggable. Well, I guess then Jan is not a real hamburger. Please don't eat him. Have you watched the videos? No, only the first 3.
in Reeperbahn, where they party and drink till the dawn. And Schanzenviertel is Hamburg's hippie central, filled with vegan cafes and anarchist graffiti. Some additional stereotypes about them are that they're penny pinchers and English wannabes who always throw in some English words.
Hessen, let's go.
Hessen
The most prominent red light district, at least in Germany, definitely.
is famous
Shoppen?
for its apple wine.
Oh, we
This
can go
estate only
shopping.
exists because they couldn't write "Here there be dragons" on a map in 20th century. They think green sauce is gourmet and put it on everything. And apparently they like stealing ashtrays. So be careful.
I actually have no idea about Hessen. I know someone who has like studied in Hessen, but that's it. Literally. I know a person who always throws in some English words. I don't know what you're talking about.
Your
No
ashtrays. The capital city, Frankfurt, is Germany's
Okay, I only know Frankfurt, and Frankfurt is like the most infamous for its train station, and it's like financial district. Like Frankfurt has a really big financial district, and it's really infamous. At least in Germany, it's really infamous for its train station. That there is a lot of drug addicts there, and that it's very, very scary. Honestly, gotta be honest, I personally like the Frankfurter main station way more than the Hamburger one, because the Hamburger one I've been like the Hamburger one when I was like there. One time, no, not one time. One time I got like catcalled pretty disgustingly, actually. That never happened to me in Frankfurt, just saying. So, yeah, I didn't like the hamburger one. There were also like a lot of weird people there. But I haven't spent a lot of time at the Frankfurter, only like 30 to 45 minutes. And Hamburg, I've spent like maybe in total like 4 hours or something like that. 6 times roughly 1 hour waiting for my connecting train. Yeah. Frankfurt and Offenbach hate each other. So that's what you need to know. Okay. The only acceptable way of catcalling is pss, 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 exactly. No, and it was like this old dude. And I had like this fluffy jacket that looks like an animal. It's a cute fluffy jacket. It looks like a certain animal, and then he just yeah, that was not nice. So the Eselsbrücke for Bremer Stadtmusikanten, a donkey. It might, yeah, but the Hamburger, you are able to meet Jan. That is definitely a benefit. I mean, for you, definitely. We're talking about Germany. There are always weird people in the train stations, too. Did he call you a duck? No, I'm not a duck. Only bad if you go there. The Hamburg train station is bad if you go there alone. Thank you so much for the stream streak.
Only a skyline city, also known as Manhattan. The rest of the state would also be where Lower Saxony is. Frankfurt is a crime-ridden city, and if you want to get robbed, stabbed, or even worse, go to the central station area. But to tell the truth,
exactly.
People who arrive in Frankfurt for the first time get this first, and in most cases, only impression of the city. Most people never see anything more than the central station and think the whole city looks like that. And everything outside Frankfurt is villages and sleepy towns. And the city has a lot of yuppies, and all you see is banks and airports. And Wiesbaden is a great city with hot springs.
Yeah, and you get vaccinated for free. Crazy. Lower Saxony.
They're the better Saxony.
Ow! Funnily enough, Lower Saxony is higher up on the map. Cat, can you stop it, please? Is higher up on the map than Saxony itself, but it's probably the altitude, right? It's the altitude. That's why it's called Lower Saxony, I guess.
They're the better Saxony. Lower Saxony is flat, has great industrial agriculture, some industrial cities, and tourist towns, but none of them really stand out. It has lots of farmers, farms, and farm animals. The whole state feels like a huge, wealthy farm with access to the sea. People there are known to have no emotions, even by German standards. They barely talk.
What do you mean by German standards?
And rarely display feelings of any sort. And if they do, it's with some short grunts or by saying moin, which can literally mean anything. Lots of people speak Low German in Lower Saxony, so they're hard to understand. They also have the great Schützenfest tradition, where people dress up, drink beer, and shoot at wooden birds. About the food, they put a...
Honestly, I feel like most of the states have a weird tradition where everyone dresses up and shoots at weird stuff. Moin. 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 But I still say moin, moin, moin. Could always say, you could also say servus, grüezi. Good night, Sanders. You were sipped on the backpacks by Cha. Fun fact, Lower Saxony is the real home of the Saxons, and Saxony came after. It was in a higher altitude. Oh, why do you Germans need 3 different Saxonies? Because we can. Okay? We like our Lower Saxony, and Saxony-Anhalt. We like that, okay?
A lot of potatoes and meat in their meals, love eating fish,
they do.
And drink black tea. They wear yellow raincoats because it's always raining and windy,
they do.
And the weather is overall pretty depressing. As for the capital city, Hanover, it's pretty average and is the biggest boring city in Germany. There's even a saying that goes, anyone from Hanover thinks everywhere else is beautiful. The city of Wolfsburg is bland, Göttingen is filled with the students, and Braunschweig is where all the Volkswagen engineers live, and they do not like people from Hanover.
Now we've got to MacPom. MacPom is quite nice, yeah. I realize this is probably fit with stereotypes and is familiar to Germans, but I'm finding this very interesting. Same, honestly. I also only know like some of these stereotypes, honestly. So it's really interesting for me as well. Yeah, NRW has like a lot of the German population in it. Like outside of Berlin, I think, I don't know, but I think NRW has like they have 3 really big cities. They have Düsseldorf, they have Köln, and they have the thing next to Düsseldorf, the Duisburg, and Bonn, and Dortmund. They have a lot of big cities. They have a lot of big cities in NRW. But they also have the Ruhrpott, and the Ruhrpott is, I'm sorry, it's ugly. Duisburg is ugly. I'm sorry. And Essen. You also have Essen. Essen is also a city in German, and for everyone in Germany, and for everyone learning German, Essen also means to eat. Yeah, I already said Cologne. Hi, Beaver, and Happy New Year to you too, Walker. Düsseldorf and Köln are the same city, and it's called Rupp.
There aren't many stereotypes about people from Mecklenburg-Vorpommern because no one lives there. Seriously, every few hundred kilometers you'll see a town with 400 inhabitants.
When you said
and
Köln,
on a lot of occasions you won't get any internet on your phone. But
that's normal for Germany, though.
Absolutely beautiful, especially the beaches and the Baltic Sea.
It is really beautiful.
During the summer, you can spot more Saxons than locals. This place is packed with old people and is considered old-fashioned, far-right, and resistant to trying out new things, making it one of the poorest regions of Germany. Okay, I don't want to get banned, but this place is a stereotype to be filled with people who did some crazy things during the 1940s. And people from Rostock are Fischkörper, also very cold and quiet.
Fischkörper! Let's go! There we go. NRW, North Rhine-Westphalia.
They're a bunch of unemployed coal miners who love their carnivals and are drunk half the year because they're always having yet another carnival event. North Rhine-Westphalia is fairly crowded. If you ask someone from there where they're from...
See? I told you. NRW has 18 plus million, Bavaria 13.2 million, and Baden-Württemberg 11. Baden-Württemberg has 11 million. Thank you for the lurk. What the hell?
They will name even the smallest
town.
But
yeah, if you ever like meet a German and you ask them where they're from, you have a very high okay, the probability of them saying either NRW, Berlin, like some city in North Rhine-Westphalia, Berlin, or some city in Bavaria, like these are probably like the highest possibilities, or somewhere around Stuttgart. But yeah, NRW is like most people I know are from NRW. It feels like that, at least. I have a fun lurkly night. I'm splitted with the big coal mining. It's very bad with health effect, but the big baggers are they're crazy.
Like you should totally know it. When people make fun of them, they usually focus on two areas: Rhinelanders, who are a stereotype as loud and drunk partygoers, and people from rural area, who are seen as rough working class people. In the rural, the former industrial cities are crumbling, and it is very depressing, poor, and
similar to the Erzgebirge in Saxony. That's the only experience I've had with like crumbling coal mining, or in general mining parts. I think, didn't you have that in Detroit in America? Is that Detroit? Did I get it wrong? There's like this one city in America that also had like a really, really big blooming mining thing, or like industrial stuff, and then it's just, or was it Chicago? Was it Detroit or Chicago? Detroit was for steel. Yeah, steel. Thank you. But you have that like in NRW, you have some. And then you have, for example, the Erzgebirge. That's in Saxony. I have like family there, or I had family there. And everyone is depressed. Pittsburgh is also one. Yeah. At Great Lakes. Yeah. But I thought, was it Chicago as well? I think maybe West Virginia is the same, but with coal. Yeah. And we have the Erzgebirge. It's literally called Erzgebirge. The name Erzgebirge literally means ore, like sorry, my brain is not working right now. It literally means ore mountains, or mountain range. Yeah, or mountain range, because there were like a lot of ores there, but there aren't anymore. Used to be the Motor City. Right. Near Hamburg can be anywhere in Schleswig-Holstein to Bremen and half of Lower Saxony and parts of Mecklenburg, true as well, yeah.
And dirty. Westphalian people, though, are stereotyped as quiet, stubborn, and very reserved, especially when you compare them to Rhinelanders. It is said that Westphalians go and hide in the basement if they need to laugh, but that's because the basement is where the beer is stored, and the Frisians are the exact opposite of Rhinelanders. And of course, we have the city of Münster, which is full of students on bikes. It has an elitist and a snooty vibe, and a fair amount of posh people compared to the rural areas around it, which are super religious. And about Bielefeld, it doesn't exist.
Bielefeld doesn't exist. It doesn't. If anyone asks you if Bielefeld exists, it doesn't. It's not exist. Like, it doesn't exist. In some old mine shafts, they hold musical events. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Next,
all Germans go into the cellar for laughing, true.
Düsseldorf.
Düsseldorf is not, okay. Düsseldorf, just saying, Düsseldorf is not a state of Germany, it's a city.
The greatest thing about it is that it's so close to Cologne.
It's this is it's still North Rhine-Westphalia.
Filled with Asians and has great Asian food. Just don't
Düsseldorf is where the Dokumi is at. If you ever want to visit Dokumi or the Japan Tags or the Japan Day, like they have a big anime scene. It's really, that's like where German VTubers are like, if we do something, we're gonna go there because there's like Dokumi is there. So yeah.
Ask them what they think about people from Cologne. Compared to Cologne, it's more of a business city and the traffic is horrible. And finally, people from Cologne live for Kolsch. I once heard a joke that goes, Kolsch is the first successful attempt to die.
And they have Little
It's a
Tokyo,
nice
right?
city with lots of options for food, drinks and partying. Also, beer is a religion there. Cologne also has a surprisingly large amount of homosexual people. And what I personally love about Cologne is that it exists.
Yeah, I saw that Cotton mentioned that she might go to Dokumi next year. I'm really excited because I'm definitely this year. Sorry, this year I'm gonna go to Dokumi this year. Obviously, I'm trying to get a booth. You gotta cross your fingers. You gotta pray for me because Buna and I are trying to get a booth there. We applied, and I'm probably gonna know if I got a booth either by the end of this month or latest March. So we're gonna see. So Dokumi is amazing. I've never been to TwitchCon EU because TwitchCon EU is always either the weekend before Dokumi or the same weekend as Dokumi. For example, this year it's the same weekend as Dokumi. As well this year. TwitchCon EU, I didn't hear a lot about interest. Like, it doesn't seem interesting. Dokumi is just like the biggest anime manga convention, I think in Europe, actually. It's really huge. Like, it's huge. You have 3 days. It's like 90 euros for 3 days, which is a good price for a con, in my opinion. Yes, of course, it's not inexpensive, but I think 90 euros for 3 days is still pretty good price point for a convention. You are never able to see everything. I've tried. Last year I had a booth with Buna. Obviously I didn't have time to walk around them, but I've been to Dokumi 2 times before that, and you never have time to see everything. It's insane. Who's Buna? Weird, right? I don't think so, Langha. If you go to TwitchCon, be sure to have a bodyguard. I'm not gonna go to TwitchCon. Like I said, I definitely will go to Dokumi. I like the money isn't worth it, honestly, to me. TwitchCon is so expensive, and it's always in Rotterdam. It has been in Paris. It changed like a lot, but the last years it's always been in Rotterdam. Dokumi is definitely, if you wanna go to the EU for a con, and if you have to choose between TwitchCon and Dokumi, do Dokumi. No questions asked. I also know some of the organizers of Dokumi, and they're in it with all of their heart. Dokumi it's really good. Please go to Dokumi if you have the option to do that. And if you want to choose between TwitchCon and Dokumi, do Dokumi. In my opinion, you should do it. Sharing both with booth with one money? Yeah. Dokumi has it had 215k visitors. It's a lot. Dokumi doesn't have a Twitch staff problem. The only problem we had with Dokumi was the security. The helpers at Dokumi are amazing. I only had good experiences with all of the helpers at Dokumi. They are always so nice and helpful and stuff. The security, on the other hand, but Dokumi can't do anything about the security because the security is tied to the location where it's at. Yeah, and the security is really meh. Yeah, thank you guys. I'll consider it. If you ever think about going to the EU for a con, I would suggest Dokumi because I think it's the biggest anime manga convention. Please don't, like, if it's not, please, tell me. But I think it's the biggest one in the EU, and it's really, really good. It's still really expensive. 90 euros for a con for 3 days is good, and especially if you consider the size. Reeve. I mean, obviously, I didn't say that 90 euros is not expensive. Obviously, don't get me wrong. 90 euros is a lot of money, okay? But still. Like, compared to other
They're
cons,
the
it's
state
pretty
of
good.
wine. They're famous for their Chopin, and they're stereotyped as fat hicks who drink wine and Schorle and eat a lot of pork. So they're alcoholics, even by German standards. And it's the only state where you get your wine served in a 500 milligram glass. Unlike other Germans, they're super chatty and are happy people in general. Because they're influenced by French culture, they're easygoing and laid back and think themselves as the enjoyers of life. They have a great rivalry with Saarland and make fun
Yeah, I'm excited for Saarland.
of them all the time. The state is also home to the oldest German towns, which were founded by Romans. And ever since the Romans left, nothing interesting has ever happened there. Joking aside, it has beautiful forests and valleys, as well as hundreds of ruined castles. Food-wise, they have the Saumagen, which is the German version of haggis. People from Mainz love to party. They're crazy for carnivals, just like Cologne, but with more wine. And
He didn't even mention the Carnival for
the city of
Cologne.
Trier is all about Roman history and Mosel wine. And Koblenz has great fireworks.
It was Rhineland-Palatinate. Sorry. I really want to go to conventions this year. I'm rooting for you, Connie. I'm rooting for you.
Saarland is a very small and rural state.
Teeny tiny.
It's actually the smallest non-city state. Saarland is approximately the size of one Saarland. The main stereotype about
Yeah, Saarland is also a measurement, you know?
is, well, I cannot say it here, but it's the same one that people from Alabama get associated with. And it rhymes with invest. These people are
It's
hardworking
the
and down to
Alabama
earth.
of Germany.
They're quite friendly and lovely
Hi,
once you
Gresham.
get to know them. But their dialect is a bit hard to understand. And of course, anything that can be named something must carry the prefix Saar, like Saarbrücken, Saarlouis, Saarbahn, etc. When it comes to food, they take it very seriously. It's like the first priority to them, and then they'll get the work done. They have some great wine and have the highest consumption per household of Maggi-Wurzel in the country. They
Maggi-Wurzel is also a very German thing.
put it on everything. Soups, potatoes,
Rice. It's good.
popcorn,
It's good
ice
with
cream,
rice.
etc. There's a joke that goes, neither Germany nor France wanted it after World War II, and Germany lost.
Oh no! The last. I think. Yeah, we're still missing Schleswig-Holstein. We're missing Saxony-Anhalt, Thüringen, and Sachsen. So these three. And funnily enough, I think most Germans that do not live in Saxony-Anhalt, Thuringia, I don't know how to pronounce it in English, and Saxony, I think most people outside of these three states are like, all of them are the same state. I think they just see Saxony-Anhalt, Saxony, and Thuringia as the same freaking state, most people. And this is, for all of these states, the stereotype is all of them are right-wing Nazis. I'm sorry, but that's the biggest like thing, I guess. Well, it's true. Saarland voted to join Germany twice. Yeah. Have a fun lurk. Oh, great. Yeah, it's not that bad. Okay, I have family there, okay? It's not like that. There are a lot of right-wing people there, but there are also a lot of left-wing people there. I have, like, family there, so it's not that bad. Like in all of these three states. Literally, I think in all of these three states I have family. It's not that bad.
The main stereotype about Saxony is that they speak the worst German with a funny
Oh
dialect,
yeah, and
have a
that's
big
that as
ego,
well.
and are always looking for fights. About their dialect, it is said that Saxon is the only language you can understand and talk while being blackout drunk. Every single person there is a stereotype as a right-wing, FDR voting, COVID denying, conspiracy theory loving extremist who for some reason always shaves his head and wears a bomber jacket with heavy boots. But most
Yeah, as I said. Did you just say her family is? Yeah, for example, my sister lives in Leipzig. So yeah, those three states are either extreme right or extreme left. There is no in between. Yeah. Hi, Top
most
Fox.
of the bad rap that the state gets is because of rural Saxony. And in some places, the racism problem is so bad that if you don't look ethnically Western European or speak fluent German, you can definitely run into problems, especially finding accommodation, work, and just going about your daily life in general. If you want to
Yeah, sadly that is true. Hi, Haben.
US analogy, Saxony is basically
Oh, he's asking to pick up a fight. Is he asking me for a fight?
the Mississippi with the reputation of Florida. But as always, these are just the stereotypes, and the majority of Saxons are alright. People from Dresden are very conservative and self-centered about their city. There's even a joke that goes, how does a Dresdener know you find his city beautiful? He tells you. Leipzig, though, is a very safe and left-leaning city, where people of color would not...
I wouldn't even... So, like I said, I have family in Leipzig. I wouldn't just call it left-leaning. They have like this one part of Leipzig, I don't know what it's called, where they have like literally like Konowitz. It could be Konowitz. They have this part where they sometimes, it's wild when I talk to my sister. Sometimes they have like cars, like barricades made out of cars that are burning. It doesn't happen like a lot, but at least like twice a year. And I'm just like, please never move to that part of the city, please. Not the cars, the cars or like other stuff that's burning, but not like because like the Antifa, because like Kreuzberg, yeah, kind of, I guess. Yeah, it also has the Konowitzer Kreuz. I think I heard about that. Yeah, like Kreuzberg. I guess nothing about a good burning car on the 1st of May. So yeah. So I wouldn't even just. I wouldn't say just left leaning. They have some really. They have like big. Yeah, I guess.
Experience anything particularly bothersome or dangerous.
The southern
like
parts and some
Berlin,
western. Oh, okay.
They're poor, but very progressive compared to the other parts of Saxony.
And then we have Saxony-Anhalt.
I'd like to describe it as the void. There's nothing going on, and the state is very quiet and flat.
What do you mean? Saxony-Anhalt has Halle and Magdeburg. I don't know what he's talking about.
And I believe if it disappeared overnight, nobody would notice. They think they're like a small Texas while driving their Dutch trucks, are very far right, and always reminisce about the good old DDR days.
The DDR,
older generations, though, truly resent their unification. If you drive through Saxony-Anhalt's industrial zones, or what you could call the East German Rust Belt, it feels like you're in a post-apocalyptic ghetto. Everyone there works 2 or 3 mini-jobs at minimum wage just to afford a one-room flat in a GDR-era concrete high-rise.
In my opinion, the worst state motto, the Land der Frühaufsteher. Well, I don't even know all of the state mottos. Best thing about Saxony. Oh, come on. So it's like the UK. Oh, come on. It's not that bad. They have Magdeburg and Halle, okay?
So everyone is economically and psychologically depressed. This is
at least those are not bad. I literally have the same thought a few weeks back. Every state has its own popular stereotype, but you never hear about Saxony-Anhalt. Hey!
It also has huge agricultural fields by German standards, which is a legacy of GDR. The city of Halle is cheap, near Leipzig, and they have a rivalry with Magdeburg.
See, Halle and Magdeburg. See?
They're stereotyped as cold, emotionally distant to strangers, grumpy, and unfriendly. But in my opinion, the reason for that is because they're very discreet and reserved. Once you get to know them, they're actually very nice, warm, and surprisingly chatty people. They're also
and they speak Plattdeutsch. I love Platt.
very proud and have the beautiful North Sea, which makes
the
them
real
neighbors with
North.
Denmark. And
The real
they're
North.
just as weird as the Danes and basically behave like Scandinavians. I always imagine them wearing one of those yellow oilskin raincoats while eating Fischbrötchen and making fun of hamburgers for how they pronounce the letter S. The weather is rainy and windy all the time, and the people are obsessed with the sea. They're weather-hardened and very proud of their coastal lifestyle. The state is also famous for its wind and solar energy, and
Yeah,
it's packed
definitely.
with sheep and Danes. For entertainment,
Yeah, they have a lot of sheep. They have a lot of sheep in Schleswig-Holstein. Not as many as in Wales, but they have a lot of sheep. Das gute Platt, exactly. Well, it was once Danish. That was a German state. They have Magdeburg and Halle. If you have to point out those two that strongly, maybe he's not one. Come on.
Schleswig-Holstein has the Wacken.
And they have the Wacken.
Which is one of the world's largest heavy metal festivals. Kiel is a sailing coastal town.
Ooh,
The
Kiel
inner
is
city is a bit
nice, yeah.
ugly, but it's a pretty safe city unless you're from Labu. Lübeck is an old city known for its marzipan.
Yeah, Lübeck is really nice. They have the Niederegger marzipan.
Considering it has 200,000 inhabitants, it is shockingly provincial.
It's very
but
beautiful. Yeah, it's very beautiful. I
This
love
estate is all about forests,
Lübeck.
bratwurst, and socialism. Thuringia is like the middle child.
So yeah, as you can see, most of the eastern or former GDR states like Saxony-Anhalt, Saxony, Thuringia, they're just like still very GDR, and Brandenburg, but there is nothing in Brandenburg. So yeah. Good night, Leonard.
This estate is all about forests, bratwurst, and socialism. Thuringia is like the middle child. It's not left enough to be socialist and not too right to be liberal, but they love the AfD. Thuringia is just like Saxony, but everyone forgets about them and just hates on Saxony. Some people from Thuringia might not be as foreigner-friendly as you think. So yeah, that's that. And about the nature, it's stunning and the beer scene is awesome. Now about the cities. In Jena, everywhere you go, you see students, and you
But
can't
Jena has a lot of hills as well.
not order food after 11 p.m. And it can be a bit boring
Jena
if
has
you're
a
not
lot
between
of
19
hills.
and 23 years old. Erfurt is a beautiful medieval city. It's not too big and not too small, but it's very peaceful and relaxed.
And that was it. That was interesting. Even as a German, that was interesting because I didn't even know all of these stereotypes, which is I've heard about them, but I couldn't recall them like actively. That was a really nice video. Please watch the original video and leave a like, comment, subscribe on this video, and write your favorite kind of Wurst in the comments if you watched till now. He forgot Male.
Outro song, outro song. This is an outro song. Outro song, outro song. This is an outro song.